usually start my sermons with asking permission to the rabbis who are present. I say Bereshit Rabbanim. And if I may, today, I may ask also permission of the Hazan and the internal cantorial, yes? Intern cantorial, that's what I said. Okay, so your permission, because I'm going to start singing. So, there's a song I like very much. It goes like, honesty, it's just a lovely word. You know that song, yes? Okay. Yeah, well, come on. That was, okay. So, honesty is very important because what triggered a couple of, I would say exactly 1 year ago, what triggered one of the reasons that we started services earlier today, and this year we're going to start services earlier, is that there were a couple of times that we were not able to give the sermon because of the length of the service. So honesty is very important. So the sermon that I am giving today is the sermon of last year I couldn't give. So honesty is very important, but I made a couple of changes to it. So I changed the 5779 instead of 5778. And also I changed the font that I printed it out. So anyway, at the end of the service you can say, I'm so sorry I waited 1 year to listen to the sermon, or you can say, Rabbi, stick with honesty, whatever. So whatever you decide, it's fine. So the story goes like this. There was a small town, and there were a family who were very poor. And the wife made 1 kilo butter bars, so her husband could sell it at the grocery store, and that way sustain the family. One day, the owner of the grocery store noticed that the bars weighed 900 grams. He was very upset with the poor man and he asked for an explanation. The poor man apologized and said, we are very poor people. We don't have a scale in the house. Therefore, we use as a reference the kilo of sugar we buy every week in this grocery store. So, this is a nice and interesting story because I think this story has and says a lot, especially about the story of Genesis. It says a lot about the well-known concept that I think the pop culture adopted and called it the original sin. And I wanted to check with you that part of the story. As you may well know the story, Adam and Eve followed the snake's advice and they ate from the forbidden fruit. They opened their eyes and they realized they discovered they were naked. So the first question I have for you from that story this morning is, what is the fruit that they ate? Apple, very good. Why an apple? Because an apple a day keeps the doctor away, yes? Also, Apple is doing a lot of evil with the iPhones in the world. So this is possible because of the reason we all say it was an apple. It's possible because it was a misunderstanding or a pun on the word malum, a native Latin noun which means evil. And malum, another Latin noun borrowed from the Greek that means apple. So malum, evil, malum, apple. Malum is what they ate. They ate the evil, they ate an apple. So remember the story I just told you? About the bar of butter and the kilo of sugar? They took as reference the same thing. Here, the pun or the referent is the word malum. So apples have a different context in our tradition. We just finished Tishrei, or we're about to finish Tishrei, and we ate apples and honey. So, according to our tradition, the forbidden fruit was not an apple. Okay? I am sure we can find better answers to what the forbidden fruit was. So in the Talmud, in Masechet Brachot, the Talmud says, Rabbi Meir holds that the tree which Adam ate, was the vine, since things that most causes wailing to man is wine, as is to say in the story of Noah, and he drank of the wine and he was drunken. So Rabbi Meir says that fruit was wine. Rabbi Yehuda has a different opinion, that the fruit that they ate was wheat. See, and he says, since a child does not know how to call father and mother until he has the taste of corn. When they eat corn, they are mature enough to say papa or mama. So there's a pun there included, because in Hebrew the word wheat is chita. So chita is the pun with chet, a sin, okay? So chita and chet, Rabbi Yehuda is making a pun here. But Rabbi Nehemiah says that the fig tree was the fruit that they ate. So they repaired their misdeeds with the instrument of it, as it says, and they sewed fig leaves together. So it says, Badavar shenit kalkelu bo nitkenu. So they went downhill with the fig, they ate from the tree of the fig, and they came back with the fig, they returned, they corrected, they did teshuvah with the same element that made them make a sin, make a mistake. They ate from a fig, so they discovered they were naked, they put on fig leaves. So the Torah only mentions the word fruit, pri, and therefore we're able to interpret and decide what is the fruit that we are talking about. So the reference, the sugar package, as in the story I shared with you, is the word fruit, pri. In the convenience store, who committed the original sin? The owner of the grocery shop. The poor person only copied. He only was taking as reference the kilo of sugar. And I think there is a sublime suggestion here. The Torah uses the word fruit, the word pri, and after a bad interpretation, someone who did not measure well the weight of the words interpreted the word malum, and apple became the evil fruit. And we only copied it because we didn't know that there were better interpretations. And we replicated the stories because we did not know that that was a wrong interpretation. As well as the poor person didn't know that the weight of the sugar was wrong. So I want to encourage you today to become teachers. And when you see a paint, when you're talking to somebody about Parashat Bereshit, that it's probably a topic that you want to talk every single day with your friends and families, correct them that it may have not been an apple, but rather a fig. Not because of the pun, but because of the explanation. They went downhill with a fig, they came back with a fig. They returned, they corrected, they did teshuvah with the same element that they made a mistake. So Bereshit, it's a new beginning. And I want to go back to the story of the beginning. The poor man apologized and said that they were poor and they didn't have weights in the house. Bereshit is a good opportunity to start again, to say sorry if we didn't say sorry yet, and to repair, to correct. So next time you go to the supermarket and you see a fruit that looks like an apple, look at it very carefully. It may be a fig. Shabbat Shalom.